America Sportsnet California is brought to you by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
CN Tower right next to the Rogers Center, and that is where we are at for game one of this three-game series indoors on a very, very cold Tuesday evening in Canada. Just how cold? Well, we're going to tell you with the game time weather. It's brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission is free. The boardwalk is open this weekend. 68 degrees. It's because we're inside, folks. 41 outside. Sun came out this afternoon, which warmed it up a little bit this morning. It was overcast and very, very windy, and it was cold, folks. So we are indeed glad we're inside. Coco Crisp and the rest of the A's, after losing 2 out of 3 over the weekend, embark on this 9-game trip. Toronto, Minnesota, and Chicago. That is the trip. A starting lineup is brought to you by Fremont Bank, and here it is. Coco Crisp in center, followed by Derek Barton at first, and a few changes. Connor Jackson will get his first start tonight. He'll be in left field. Josh Willingham will be hitting in the cleanup spot, and he will DH tonight. Then Mark Ellis up to 5th. David DeJesus drops down to 6th. Then it's Kurt Suzuki, Kevin Kuzminoff, and Andy LaRoche will get his first start this year, and he will be the shortstop. Jojo Reyes is the pitcher, right?
Reyes acquired from the Atlanta Braves last season, and the A's actually faced him in 2008 when the A's played the Braves in interleague play. A lefty in the rotation for John Farrell, and he's not really overpowering. He does hit the low 90s with his fastball. It's kind of straight, but got a big slow curveball, slider, changeup, and 4 basic pitches. And of course, the A's would like to see what they can do against a lefty to start this 9-game trip.
Defensively behind Jojo Reyes, Travis Snyder in left. Our old friend Rajay Davis is in center field. Juan Rivera is in right. Mason Nix is the third baseman. Yunel Escobar the shortstop. Aaron Hill at second. Adam Lind is at first. Jose Molina is the catcher, and Jojo Reyes the pitcher. So Reyes has finished his warm-up tosses. Going to be a small crowd tonight as the Blue Jays come in after taking 2 out of 3 over the weekend from the Minnesota Twins. So Reyes steps to the mound. He is ready to go. Coco Crisp, the switch hitter, steps in. First pitch of the ball game is on the way to Crisp, and it's a fastball just a bit high. So 7:08 local time, and we are underway. Coco Crisp had a terrific opening series with 5 hits. This time he pops it straight up. Coming down, Adam Lind, and Lind makes the catch near the mound, and that is out number 1 here in the first. So Crisp is retired, and that'll bring up Derek Barton.
No doubt a little bit disappointing after a nice weekend attendance for the Blue Jays against the Twins, but not surprising with the weather outside. And I watched a little bit of the Yankees game last night, Twins, Yankee Stadium. I think about just 30,000 there. So it wasn't like it was a sellout. So it's that time of the year, especially in these cold weather cities. They were outdoors. At least we're indoors here.
I was watching the news, the sports, last night, and they were interviewing some of the Blue Jays players, and players were raving about the support they got over the weekend and the enthusiasm that the crowds had for the 3-game series against the Twins. Crowds were totally into it. They had 47,000 on the opener on Friday, and then 27,000 on Saturday, 35,000 on Sunday. So 3 very good crowds over the weekend, but as Ray said, a very small crowd tonight.
Well, they have to be ecstatic with the way the Blue Jays finished the second half of last year very strongly. And of course, the new manager, John Farrell, pitching coach 4 years for Terry Francona in Boston, is the new guy, the 12th manager for the Blue Jays. And I think with Bautista signing a long-term contract, 5 years,
sure.
So he's going to be around. And you know, people like home runs. They like the long ball. Derek Barton just swung at a ball 3-1. Gary Sealerstrom, the home plate umpire, has not called on high strike yet. So it's a matter of the aggressiveness in Derek Barton, which is good to see, especially 3-1, jumping on a fastball. even though it was a little bit out of the strike zone. There is Gary Cedarson wearing the hockey-style mask that was invented, or at least started, by Charlie O'Brien on the Blue Jays many years ago. He was the first to wear it.
That one looks like it just came out of the box. That baby is brand new.
And I don't blame umpires, especially the home plate umpire. Get as much protection as you can.
Yeah.
Of course, it protects not only his face but his side. And you're right, that definitely looks like it's not a. It's like a metallic black. I mean, it's not shiny.
No.
Charlie O'Brien, of course, playing up here in Toronto, hockey country, and they designed the mask. And boy, it looks like some added protection in the facial area with the guard in front of the face. Get as much protection as possible.
To left field, Snyder back near the warning track, and he's got it, and that is out number 2. Well, that mask we're talking about, Ray, not only does it look like it's brand new out of the box, but it looks like it's a little bit of a new model too.
Yeah, that's why the wiring on top, a little bit added protection, I think, so that any ball that comes straight back, of course, the back of the head is protected. But I think the wire in the front, see the extension up above the eyes, that
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, because otherwise, the catcher's mask that I've seen just does not have that protection. Maybe the new ones do.
Connor Jackson on the first pitch he sees lines it to center field for a base hit. So Connor Jackson getting his first start. He'll be in left field tonight, and he singles in his first at bat. And that'll bring up Josh Willingham. So Hideki Matsui not in the lineup, and Cliff Pennington not in the lineup tonight.
First pitch fastball and heading, and right back up the middle, something that Connor Jackson did all spring. Of course, he is healthy, which is good to see. And I think this is a perfect example tonight of Bob Guerin getting a chance to use some players, using Andy LaRoche at shortstop, Cliff Pennington tonight off, and Connor Jackson in left field.
Don't you think, Ray, this time of year, it's not so much, it certainly isn't giving a guy a night off, but you really want to get all your players in a game as quick as you can.
Good point, and plus it gets Josh Willingham off the turf, one of the 3 games. He'll probably be out there tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon. Be the same for Jackson. He may DH tomorrow. Well, there's going to be another lefty tomorrow night.
No, Jesse Leach tomorrow. So,
right. So it'll be Matsui will be DHing, and I think Cecil on Thursday afternoon maybe see a right-hander. So, but you're right. It gives a chance to keep these guys fresh, especially out of spring training, where they got a chance to get a lot of at bats.
One and two the count to Josh Willingham.
Well, you think about the weather outside, you look down and you see guys, no sleeves, short sleeves, just like it's 68 degrees. That's what it is indoors. We will not see that starting Friday.
I don't think so.
For the last 6 games of this trip. I'd be shocked to see somebody without sleeves.
Just missed inside. Well, as we always do, you wonder if this was an outdoor stadium. Game would have been played tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But I tell you what, folks, it's cold outside. Willingham tries to check, cannot do it, and that's a strikeout, and that ends the top of the first. A hit by Connor Jackson and a runner left. Brandon McCarthy to the mound for the A's. As the Blue Jays come to bat, Rajai Davis is going to lead it off. He'll be followed by Escobar, Lind, and Hill, and then Rivera, Encarnacion, Snyder, Nix, and Molina. So that is the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup for tonight against Brandon McCarthy, the big tall right-hander. As Rajai Davis steps in. First pitch in for a strike to Davis.
Well, the best case scenario for the A's in this 3-game series is assuming Rajai plays all 3, keep him off the bases. As we saw, stealing 50 last year for the A's. He is very exciting on the base paths. You never know what he'll do. You can't take your eyes off him. kind of rolled his ankle over the weekend, so didn't play the last 2 games against the Twins. So yesterday off as a scheduled off day, so he's had 3 days to get his ankle ready to face his former team.
Hits it hard right to Mark Ellis, who grabs it and throws out Rajay Davis.
Well, Brandon McCarthy, you're seeing exactly in 3 pitches what you expect to see, and that's strikes. Strike throwing machine. As Kite mentioned, did not pitch all of last season due to injuries, but he is happy to be back in the A's rotation, or at least pitching in Major League Baseball, and he is a 5th starter. But I've never seen a guy more nervous, I assume, walking around the clubhouse. I mean, every time I'd walk someplace, he's walking by me just all over the place. So, I mean, it's understandable. These guys take the mound every 5th day, and they want to make sure they perform the best they can, knowing they've got 4 days until they pitch again. Definitely a game face on as soon as he got to the park.
Another ground ball to Ellis. Escobar is retired, 2 outs. The defense behind Brandon McCarthy tonight. It'll be Jackson in left, Crispin center, DeJesus in right, Kuzmanov, LaRoche, Ellis, Barton. Keep an eye on Andy LaRoche, first start at shortstop in his career. Kurt Suzuki is behind the plate. So McCarthy's first pitch to Adam Lind is in first strike. The last time McCarthy pitched in the big leagues was October 2nd of 2009.
When anybody's experienced injuries and you miss a whole season, it's as long as you could think about.
Behind the bag at first, Barton has it. He slips, but flips to McCarthy, and a very good inning. In fact, a 7-pitch first inning for Brandon McCarthy. Sportsnet California is brought to you by Wendy's. Try Wendy's new natural cut sea salt fries. That is outside the Rogers Center. Second inning, and Mark Ellis leading it off. Ellis hitting in the 5th spot for the A's tonight. It'll be Ellis, DeJesus, and Suzuki against JoJo Reyes.
Bob Guerin using the exact same lineup for 3 days against the Seattle Mariners. You don't see that a lot with a lot of clubs, but in the case of the A's and Bob Guerin, not a bad way. Let the guys kind of get used to the same lineup for a while, and then some changes as starts to give guys either a day off for a reason or getting a chance for a couple of guys off the bench to play. Might see Ryan Sweeney in there tomorrow.
Mark Ellis was 3 for 10 in that series against the Mariners. He had 3 RBIs. All those RBIs coming on Sunday in the game that the A's won. Fly ball to right field. Juan Rivera back just a couple of steps, and that is out number 1.
Not anybody that knows the Oakland Athletics from last year realized they did not play very well on the road.
Yeah.
And in fact, they were 81-81 on the season, winning the final 4 games to get to the 81 mark, the 500 mark in second place. But overall, not a particularly great season when it came to playing away from the Coliseum. So to have a good road trip against 3 very good teams would be a great way to start this season.
The A's were 34-47 on the road last year, and really the road's been a tough place the last 4 or 5 years for the A's. Last 4 years at least.
And usually the teams that go to the postseason at least play 500 baseball on the road.
Yeah.
If not better. And ideally, if you play 500 on the road and play better, 10, 12 over 500 at home, got a pretty good chance to have a good season.
Escobar quickly as he fielded that ball on the right side of second base and threw out to Jesus. 2 outs for Kurt Suzuki. Well, last year, Ray, see where he fielded that ball, a couple steps past the bag.
Well, easier for a shortstop coming that direction, a straight throw to first, letting Aaron Hill know that he had it easy. So
here's Suzuki. Last year, There were 2 playoff teams that were under 500 on the road. The Braves and the Rangers.
Yeah.
And the Braves were extremely good at home. But Texas won the division, but did not play that great on the road. They were 39-42. So I guess you can do it, but your point, Ray, is it doesn't happen a lot.
Right, right.
This is also a stretch for the Athletics. 22 of their next 35 games are on the road, and that's a lot. Past a diving Nix down the left field line. It's going to rattle around in the corner. Snyder finally picks it up. Kurt Suzuki with a 2-out double.
You notice the clean-shaven Kurt Suzuki.
How about that?
As he gets a slider coming right into his wheelhouse and turns on it past the diving Nix at third. Ball hooking away from Nix. Absolutely no chance with this artificial surface. The ball scooted by him very quickly, but a good start for Kurt Suzuki. And now even better for the A's to get a 2-out hit to drive him home. I saw Kurt yesterday going to the airport. I said, "What is going on?" He said, "Actually, my wife asked me." Renee said, "Time to shave."
Well, when your wife asks you that, you have to do it. And then when your wife is very pregnant, like Kurt's wife
That's
is,
right.
then you definitely have to do
Right.
it. No arguments.
Yeah.
Just do what she says. One 1-0 to Kuzminov, and that one a fastball right down around the knees. Good pitch by JoJo Reyes. 2 for 10 for Kuzminov over the weekend. Scored a run, had an RBI. So yeah, so
Wow.
that was a strike.
I thought after he called the second pitch a strike, this definitely had to be one. I don't know what's wrong with this. Had to be low, but
oh, he called it a ball.
he called it a ball.
Okay.
But the previous one he'd called a strike. That's almost identical location. But Kuz has to be happy, especially getting another chance.
Outfield shifted around a little bit toward left center for Kuzminov. Just a shade. High fastball. Kuzminov fouls it straight back. So indeed, Ray, 22 of the next 35 on the road. So it's not just this road trip. I mean, that's a pretty lengthy stretch of games where you're going to be on the road a lot.
Well, home for a short 6-game homestand, and then off the road again to Seattle and to Anaheim.
And Anaheim.
Yeah.
Breaking ball down and in, but as we always say, we're pretty darn positive that it's going to all even out in the end.
There will be 81 home games for
Can
sure.
you guarantee me that?
Absolutely.
All right. Payoff pitch is grounded slowly toward the shortstop. Escobar throws in time, and the A's strand Suzuki at second base. So we go to the bottom of the second inning from the Rogers Center. No score.
Fleece Blanket presented by Bay Area News Group. This year's Fleece Blanket is the A's Gold to match the new A's Gold Ultimate Home Jerseys. 10,000 fans on April the 15th will receive a Fleece Blanket as the A's take on the Detroit Tigers 7:05. For tickets, call 877-493-BALL or go to oaklandathletics.com. And you will need it sometime at the Coliseum. Maybe on July 4th. Because
we're going to need it this weekend.
Yeah. We'll have it to show you this weekend.
Right. Thank
Will
you.
be.
Smash to Kuzminov, who grabs it on the backhand on a line, and that's out number one. So Aaron Hill lines out.
Well, Aaron Hill a couple years ago, mid-30s with the home runs last year, tailed off a little bit, but there's a solid shot, just fortunately right at the A's Kevin Kuzminov. Now, normally it's Bautista hitting third, and then they put Lynn in the fourth spot behind him for a little protection. So with Bautista out for the 3 games, then it has changed a little bit for the lineup for John Farrell. Big Juan Rivera, of course, with the Angels for many years, traded to the Blue Jays in the Vernon Wells trade.
It is strange playing the Blue Jays and not seeing Vernon Wells.
Well, the Blue Jays have to be happy. Considering his contract, he and Alex Rios, both contracts picked up. Rios by the White Sox. The Angels for Vernon Wells, and 2 huge contracts off the books of the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
He might have the green light. This guy knows that McCarthy's going to be around the strike zone. They may give him the go-ahead. Wow.
Call the ball. So that's the first base runner for the Blue Jays. 1-out walk for Edwin Encarnacion. The new manager, John Farrell.
Boston's pitching coach for 4 years under Terry Francona. He's also the director, the farm director for the Cleveland Indians. Pitched for the Indians, the farm director. A lot of success for the Indians organization when he was there.
Fastball a strike to Encarnacion.
You know, if you've been a pitching coach in the big leagues, and I talked to John Farrell, had a nice interview with him on the A's warm-up, and I said, you know, John, I've seen you already more tonight than I saw you in 4 years as a pitching coach for the Red Sox.
Kuzmanov has it. Could be 2, and it is 2. 5-4-3 double play, and the Jays are retired in the second. On to the third, no score. Sports news for the Bay Area fan. Go deep with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai. Tonight at 10:30 on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. A full recap of the game here in Toronto. Tigers Masters thoughts. The Masters starts in a couple days, and the Warriors will be in Portland. Henry Wolford, Scott Reese will host. Top of the third from the Rogers Center, Andy LaRoche, a shortstop, will lead things off against Jojo Reyes.
And he's got to be happy to get a start in just the 4th game of the season, and that's what he did all spring, and that's why he's on the club.
Hooks one down the left field line. Picked up quickly by Snyder. He gets it in quickly. Close play at second. LaRoche just beats the tag, and it's a leadoff double.
This ball hit well enough down in the corner. You almost assume it's an easy double, but Travis Snyder made it very interesting by getting to the ball. And of course, a left-handed thrower able to get to the ball. But Andy LaRoche, that low slider down and in, and just hooked it. Used the whole field during spring training. And it was the strong, accurate throw by Snyder, and that's how close it was.
So here's Coco Crisp back to the top of the order.
You know, with pitcher Reyes, so that slider down into left or to right-handed hitters, it's a perfect ball to hit, as Suzuki did with a double, followed by LaRoche in this inning. Just kind of comes right into your swing as you're opening up.
Off the mask of Jose Molina, knocks him back a little bit.
Well, there's the hockey style mask. Maybe we can compare his to that of the home plate umpire, Gary Cederstrom. Listen to it. It's the bat, and the other sound was hitting Molina's mask. Let's check out the front part of his mask, Molina's mask. And I don't think you can see it. Cederstrom has an extension up a little bit higher. Whereas the one that Molina's wearing does not have the extra metal. See, he's got the shiny black too. Kind of what's the difference? Cederstrom, I think this is what is the gun black or something.
Yeah.
You know,
this is 2.5 innings old. 1-1 to Crisp. Bounce to the right side. Diving play by Hill. He'll throw, and they just get Coco Crisp. Well, Crisp did his job. He got LaRoche to third, but I think he was hoping for a little bit more.
He wanted a lot more, and maybe getting out of the box, he thought, well, he's out of the box very quickly. That's just how great of a play it was from Aaron Hill. Coco trying to help by giving a safe sign. Lance Barksdale, ball popped up, stayed close to Aaron Hill, and a strong throw. That could have gone either way. But a very good job by Coco to get LaRoche over. And now it's up to Derek Barton again, as we talked about over the weekend. From his knees, bang, bang, and Coco hit the front part of the bag. Just fall down anyway. As we mentioned over the weekend, the infield back in these situations where a ground ball to anybody except third base and pitch, it's going to be a run.
Barton, fly ball to left field in the first inning. Now 3 for 12 on the season. Strike called outside corner.
Contact is important right here for Derek Barton. Doesn't matter where, but JoJo Reyes is hoping for a strikeout. Now the infield starting to come in a little bit, so they're changing it up a little bit with 2 strikes.
They come trotting in, and Barton swings and misses. Pitch up out of the strike zone. Reyes badly needed a strikeout there, and he got it. That's his second strikeout.
Now this is not normally what you get out of Derek Barton, but a little bit of an uppercut swing and swung right through the pitch.
So Connor Jackson will try to get LaRoche home. First pitch Jackson saw in the first inning, he lined a single to center field. JoJo Reyes, 26 years old, 6'2", 230-pounder. Came over from the Braves in the same trade as Yunel Escobar, the shortstop. Alex Gonzalez went to the Atlanta Braves.
Well, if you can't play for Bobby Cox, you can't play for anybody.
Yeah, that was what a lot of people said.
Yep. It's kind of the reason that Escobar is here. Yeah. It's because of it. But it's sad to see that Bobby Cox is no longer in baseball. Cito Gaston did a great job for the Blue Jays, winning back-to-back world championships. He is no longer in baseball. Here's your slider down and in. At least in that part, the slider not down, but slider called by Jose Molina.
So full count to Connor Jackson.
He wanted it down. It stayed up, but still enough of a break. Connor couldn't pull the trigger.
Hit hard, fair ball down the left field line, and the A's are going to take the lead. Snyder picks it up quickly, guns it to second base. His throw is way off line, and Connor Jackson with a 2-out RBI double.
That's how you play yourself in the lineup right there. Come right out of the box. 2 hits tonight, and a big one with 2 outs and a runner at third base. Came back with another breaking ball, but it stayed up a little bit more. Did not get inside where Molina wanted it. And Jackson knew he had the hit, going for the double, and fortunately this throw way offline from Snyder, and he made it easily. You know, after the throw Snyder made with LaRoche, if you're the hitter, you think, well, maybe I better not try to make it to second base, but he did. Good job with 2 outs to get into scoring position.
Josh Willingham struck out to end the first. This one skied near the A's dugout, and it will be into the first row right behind the dugout. So 0-2 to Willingham. That's our view, folks. That camera that is shooting that shot is right next to us.
It's not a robot either. There's a real man behind that camera.
Breaking ball, and wow, I think Josh Willingham got a break right there. That was a pretty good pitch, and Willingham is going to get a second chance.
And he wouldn't have been disappointed if he had been called out, or might have been disappointed but not surprised.
To right field, and that's a base hit. Rivera has it. Connor Jackson stops, spins back to third, and Mike Gallego held him up. So Willingham does get a second chance, and he has a base hit.
But I thought Mike Gallego was going to grab Connor Jackson kind of out of the coach's box a little bit, but he just flipped this ball to left to right field. Good job, stayed inside the ball, protected with a couple of strikes, but strong arm by Rivera. Not a good idea to send the runner Connor Jackson, as he'd been out by plenty.
So 3 hits in the inning, couple of doubles, a run in, and the A's looking for more as they have had some hard hit balls against Jojo Reyes this inning. A little 2-strike swing there.
That's a great swing. Boy, he talked about using the whole field. We have seen it in the 4 games that he's played, and great to see a great swing by a guy who's capable of hitting home runs, but not opposed to taking a shot to right field. In a lot of cases would have scored a run from second base.
So here's Ellis, and that one bounces away from Molina, but not far enough for anybody to advance.
Very discouraging for a pitcher to have a runner at third, get a strikeout, make it 2 outs, as Molina just clanked it. Ball kicked off his glove trying to backhand the ball. But you get the second out thinking, oh, just dodged a bullet. Now all of a sudden back-to-back hits. The A's have a run, and a hit right now could really add some more.
And that one's hit down the left field line. Nobody's going to get it. It's off the wall. Jackson comes in to score. Willingham to third, and Ellis to second, but Ellis is safe.
That's right, he missed it. He bobbled the ball.
Aaron Hill did not have complete control of the ball. Ellis was out by plenty, but Hill did not have the ball. So another break for the A's.
And you know, Cub, I think if Ellie, when he slid in front of the bag. Watch this, great hitting, first of all. Smoked it down the line, a strong throw, but as you see him going to second base, he slides before he gets to the bag. Right there, right here. And then Hill missed him. He goes around him, and he gets off the bag. If he stays on the bag, but when he tagged him, he kind of knocked the ball loose. But Mark goes off the bag, assuming he's out. But right there, he missed him and then tagged him, and then watch him walk off the base. And then the umpire saw, I guess, when he hit his knee, it popped out, didn't have full control, and so definitely here's an even better shot as he tags him, and the ball comes out, and Mark's off the base. Get back. He thinks he's out. The umpire, unfortunately, looks at the umpire and couldn't call him safe.
So another double. 4 doubles for the A's in this game. 6 hits total. So 2-0 Athletics as Jackson scores. DeJesus, a shot. What a play by Escobar. Throw to first. Not in time. Run comes in to score.
Well, that's when you run extremely hard. When you hit a ball that hard up the middle, and a great play by Escobar. And DeJesus really busted it down the line to beat the throw, but almost an incredible play to end this inning. Diving, snow coned it. Fortunately, just a slight hesitation. And DeJesus hitting the front of the bag, and that's so important with a base runner. But great hitting by DeJesus, as the case with Jackson, Willingham, Ellis, and now David.
So DeJesus gets his second RBI. 23 pitches in the inning for JoJo Reyes. Now let's not forget the 0-2 pitch to Josh Willingham that
That's right.
was a pretty darn good pitch.
Yep.
Did not get the call, and all this has happened since then. Willingham a hit, Ellis a double, DeJesus a single. Willingham was down in the count 0-2. Reyes threw him a breaking ball that Gary Cedarstrom did not give him the call. And the A's have taken advantage of that. 1-0 to Kurt Suzuki. He dribbles it foul. Take a look at this pitch now. This would have ended the inning, and the A's would have had one run.
There's the pitch right on the inside corner, not too low, across the plate. Jose Molina caught it. Let's go to the dugout. Nope. That's all you need is that extra chance.
A couple of runs have scored since then, so 3-0 A's. Five hits this inning. Shot on the ground. Nice play by Nix. And he throws to first side, retired. So the A's score 3 times on 5 hits. Bottom of the third coming up, 3-0 Athletics. Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's Showers of Cash. Win $500 cash every hour from 2 p.m. till midnight. Visit cachecreek.com for details. We are in downtown Toronto, the Rogers Center. A's with a 3-0 lead, a 3 spot in the top of this inning. Brandon McCarthy not allowed a hit yet. He has walked one. Got a double play ball as he faces Travis Snyder. Snyder skies one, foul territory. Kuzmanov now works his way back toward fair territory, but stays into foul territory, and that is out number 1. Well, this true story is brought to you by McDonald's. April 29th to May 2nd of last year in a 4-game series versus the Athletics, the Blue Jays hit 10 home runs. That's right, 10 home runs in a 4-game series, and they took 3 out of 4 from the A's. John Buck hit 3 in 1 game. Alex Gonzalez hit 3. I remember that. It was not pretty. They just kept bombing away.
Let's put a positive spin on that, okay? Gio Gonzalez on Saturday allowing nothing against the Blue Jays.
So it was 10 home runs in 3 games.
That's right. Because Gio was outstanding in that game. Josh Donaldson caught him, hit a home run.
Yeah.
And Saturday afternoon, he faced those same bombers and just blew fastballs by him. That's why we're going to be witnessing Gio Gonzalez, 20-game winner. He's going to be doing it.
All right, I'm writing it down.
His major league debut right here in August of 2008. Rod Barajas. Remember the home run he hit? And the facial look on Gio said, wow. That's what happens when you throw a 2-0 fastball to a fastball hitter and he crushes it, hits the second deck. But Gio has learned, and he's a much different and much better pitcher than his debut here in August of 08.
2 outs for Jose Molina. Kuzmanov can't get it. LaRoche is there. He flips to first, and they get Molina. So another good inning. 6 pitches from Brandon McCarthy, and we head to the 4th. TNT. In 2010, Jose Bautista became the 4th player in Major League Baseball history to record 35 doubles, 50 home runs, and 100 walks in a single season. Who are the other 3 players?
There's Jose Bautista. That's where the A's would like to see him. For a lot of games, they will see him there for 3 games for sure.
Bautista not with the team for this series against the A's. We were told taking care of some family business. And we do not know what that is.
I heard it was his wife having a baby.
Oh, really?
And I don't know why that would not be public. and you have to miss at least. It's like a bereavement, which obviously having a baby, that's not considered. But I think it's a 3-day absence, and whether or not the Blue Jays bring somebody up. Last year when Kurt Suzuki's grandfather passed away and he went for memorial services, he was gone for 3.
Guess what, folks? It's going to be another double by the A's, we think, as Kuzminov digs for second, and he will be in with a leadoff double. They're wearing out Jason Nix in the third base line.
But again, look at the pitch. Breaking ball coming right into the swing. And that just goes to show you how great of a slider curveball that Gio has, Brett Anderson has. They throw it inside. You very rarely see that type of hit because they're thrown so hard. The ones that JoJo Reyes throwing, they're kind of floating in. And whenever a right-hander opens up, it's perfect in the location where he's swinging.
So that is the 5th double in the game for the A's. And that's going to be a base hit. Here comes Kuzminov around third. He will score. LaRoche with a RBI single. He's 2 for 2, and it's 4-0.
Well, there you go again, right in the slider. And right back up the middle. He would have gotten the job done. He would have moved the runner over, but he got him over and got him in. So stay hot and in the roach. Struggle. Hopefully he was going to make the club out of spring training. The A's did select him, and he has an opportunity to play tonight. He's got 2 big hits.
First pitch to Coco Crisp is a strike.
How about this guy? 2 guys that were inserted into the lineup tonight. Connor Jackson. Andy LaRoche, 4 hits, 2 doubles, 2 singles, 2 runs batted in.
Well, it means you got a deep team.
And that's exactly what Bob Guerin talked about. And congratulations to Billy Beane, the A's general manager, making the moves in the offseason to add the depth. Not only acquiring the players he did in Willingham and De Jesus are playing in the outfield, but also still having Ryan Sweeney and Connor Jackson.
So Coco Crisp strikes out, 1 out.
In honor of Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson and his single season record of 130 stolen bases, the A's will be hiding 130 mini bases throughout the East Bay for you to steal. Starting April 18th, 10 bases will be hidden each day for 13 days. Clues will be posted on the A's Facebook and Twitter pages, so be sure to follow and check for the daily clue. Fans who find one of the bases win 2 tickets for the April 30th game and a voucher for a Ricky Henderson bobblehead. For more information, visit oaklandathletics.com/steal-the-base legally. Legal is not part of the website, but you can steal something and do it legally.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. Just want to clarify.
Derek Barton is 0 for 2. A's have 9 hits in the game. The Blue Jays have 0. Single hits in the first and the second, then 5 hits in the third, 2 more here in the fourth. Just a bit low, and it's 3-1 to Barton with Jackson in the on-deck circle. Early run support for that man, Brandon McCarthy, who has been sharp in his first 3 innings. Outside, he walked him. That's the first walk issued by Reyes.
And that's going to be his last one, too. Just made the call of the pen.
So JoJo Reyes, his first start here in 2011 is not a good one. So he goes just 3 1/3 innings. He's knocked him around. So Carlos Villanueva is coming in, the right-hander. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and Spawn experts. Watch Watch at home or join us for our authentic viewing party. It's at Bullmore Lanes in Cupertino. The Giants, A's, Warriors, and Sharks are all on Comcast Sportsnet tomorrow. There will be giveaways, prizes, happy hour specials. Enjoy the game with other authentic A's fans. Complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of the Oakland A's is Comcast Sportsnet California. So it is indeed a busy day. The A's and the Sharks will be on Comcast Sportsnet California. Giants and the Warriors on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area all tomorrow. 2 on, 1 out. Carlos Villanueva takes over, and he faces Connor Jackson. Villanueva, 27-year-old right-hander from the Dominican Republic. 5 years pitching out of the Milwaukee Brewers bullpen, and then in December came over in a trade.
And that's what you're going to see. A lot of off-speed pitches, more curveball sliders, very few fastballs for strikes, so more of an off-speed type pitcher. So this is where the scouting report really comes up big, facing a guy that maybe some of the A's or a lot of the A's players have not faced.
Jackson, a single, a double, a run scored, and an RBI. So a big game for Connor Jackson in his first start.
And of course, you know, Kip, that whenever you haven't seen a pitcher, who do the guys turn to besides the scouting report?
Adam Roden.
Adam Roden, video coordinator for the Athletics. And Adam is, of course, never on the bench. He's always working up in the video room, getting everything set up. But he wants us to send along happy birthday wishes to his father, Chris Roden.
All right.
Mom, Jody. Guess where they are? Mexico, on the beach. Birthday today for Chris Roden. They're watching. Well, at least Adam said they were. So
happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Chris Roden, born on this April the 5th. Do not know what year. Didn't even bother to ask. But I asked Adam if he's going to be on the bench, so he at least show him. He said no. So Chris and Judy, you know that your son is working hard.
He is a hard worker.
Yes, he is.
Willingham skies one left center field. Rajai Davis has it. See if it's deep enough to get a run home. And it is, as LaRoche comes in to score. Willingham with a sacrifice fly. So that makes it a 5-0 A's lead, as they have scored twice here in the fourth.
Well, after a 4-pitch walk, a first pitch fastball, then I would say Josh Willingham has faced Villanueva in the National League. Rajai Davis, not a particularly strong throw, and LaRoche able to score easily.
So for Josh Willingham, his 4th RBI of the season. And here's Mark Ellis. So 3 in the third, 2 more here in the 4th for the A's to take the 5-0 lead. Mark Ellis had a RBI double in that 3rd inning. He has also hit a fly ball to right field. "17-game hitting streak going back to last season. Finished the year with a 13-gamer, and he's got 4 straight to start this 2011 season. Shoots that one to the right side. Lind grabs it in the air. Side retired. Couple more runs for the Athletics. Bottom of the 4th coming up. A's 5, Blue Jays 0. He has been good so far. No hits, no strikeouts. He's walked 1 as he faces the top of the order in Rajai Davis.
And I got him for pitch number 22 coming up.
You are correct, sir.
Unbelievable. Jojo Reyes threw 75 in what, 3 1/3, 3 1/3.
Carthy got a double play ball to end the 2nd inning. Good pitch there. 1-1 to Rajai Davis, who hit a hard ground ball to Mark Ellis in the 1st inning. Slowly hit. LaRoche charges. Quick throw in time to get Davis. One out here in the fourth. Time now for our AT&T trivia question and the answer. 2010, Jose Bautista became the fourth player in Major League Baseball history. 35 doubles, 50 home runs, 100 walks. Who are the other three players to do it? Pretty good names. Babe Ruth did it twice. Hack Wilson and Luis Gonzalez. Luis Gonzalez had that huge year in 2001 when the D-backs won the World Series.
And remember, he was a Detroit Tiger, and they traded him to the Diamondbacks.
That's right. For, I remember the guy, the left-handed hitter, Kareem Garcia.
Yeah.
I think that was the trade.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that guy.
That guy.
Gonzo had some very good years with the D-backs.
Up the middle, and that one's going to bounce through for a base hit for Yunel Escobar. The Roach, the shortstop, was shaded into the hole. And Escobar has the first hit for the Blue Jays.
Oh, the positioning by LaRoche and the way the ball hit on the turf. Easily into center field. That sinker came back in with a swing of Escobar. Smart play by Andy LaRoche. You see guys at times will dive for a ball when they have no chance. It's going to be a single. Nobody else on base. Why take the chance of pounding your body on the turf?
Adam Lynn bounced out to Barton to end the first inning. The Blue Jays have some nice young players, nice young rotation. But if they're going to make any noise this year, I think Adam Lynn has to have a kind of a bounce back season. In 2009, he was terrific. But the numbers were down last year. Lots of power.
I think the biggest thing for the Blue Jays, unloading two huge contracts, two that probably should never have been signed in the first place, at least given to the two players, Alex Rios and Vernon Wells. Those guys were ecstatic, but to be able to unload those contracts, it makes it a lot better to operate, and probably allowed them to give Bautista the kind of money they did.
No question.
And otherwise, there's no way that would have happened.
Bautista's contract, 5 years, $64 million.
It's not bad. You hit 54, you get 64.
That's right. He hits the bag, bounces high in the air and down the right field line. Escobar to third, Lynn with a base hit. That was a shot. It doesn't hit the bag. It's down into the right field corner.
Well, you mentioned his power. He has it and showed it with a couple of strikes. And the bag straight up. Eric Barton going for it. Could not get to it. Mark Ellis pounced on it. But if that ball hit the bag without the dirt, caught in the air, that's an out.
It's an out, yeah.
I think that's why Barton was going after it as hard as he did, really watching the ball hit the bag.
So here's Aaron Hill. First scoring opportunity for the Jays. Hill, another guy who has to have a bounce back year.
2008 had the concussion at the Coliseum. Didn't play a lot of games that year. Did bounce back in 09, but you're right, not in 10.
He hit just 205 last year. He did hit 26 home runs, but the year before in 09, 286 with 36 home runs and 108 RBIs. Now those are big time power numbers
for a second baseman, especially.
Yeah.
So right now, after the ball hit the bag and took a double away from Lind, a ground ball positioned correctly, the A's could get out of the inning. And McCarthy has had a few ground ball outs already in this game.
Big breaking ball outside. 2-1 to Hill.
In fact, 6. Make it 7 now with Rajai Davis in this inning. 7 ground ball outs already.
So 2-1 the count. Escobar at third, Lind at first. Toward LaRoche. He's got it out at second, and that's the only out they'll get. Run comes in to score, so the Jays are on the board. RBI fielder's choice for Hill.
I think we saw some of the veteran in Mark Ellis, because you're thinking you'd like to get a double play to get out of the inning, throw a little bit off line coming from Andy LaRoche, but what Mark Ellis did was give the ball back to the pitcher, not take a chance of making an errant throw to first, put another runner in scoring position, leave Hill at first even though a run scored. Never want to try to make a spectacular play and make a bad throw and put another runner in scoring position. Might get there anyway.
Hill takes off, head first slide, and that's a stolen base.
McCarthy did not pay any attention to Aaron Hill. He got a running start. Watch him at first, just took off. And Kurt Suzuki, speaking of just throwing the ball to the pitcher, that's all the chance he had to do.
So 1-0 to Juan Rivera, who walked in the second inning. Fastball right on the outside corner. Good pitch.
We talk about all the home runs by the Blue Jays, but their running game, especially with Rajay Davis, Aaron Hill stealing a base, and with 2 outs, Juan Rivera is capable of the long ball, but easier to drive a runner in from second with a base hit than from first with a home run.
Good breaking ball. Call the ball. That was a strike.
Yes, it was.
Crossed right over the plate.
But after Josh Willingham, we can't complain.
Probably even. Down and away, and now 3-1 to Rivera with Edwin Encarnacion in the on-deck circle. 2 outs and a run in here in the 4th. Kuzmanov dives, he's got it, gets up, throws to first in time, saves a run. Terrific play by Kevin Kuzmanov. Jays get 1. We head to the 5th, 5-1 Athletics. Here in Comcast Sportsnet California, the first of a 9-game road trip. He's with a 5-1 lead as David DeJesus leads it off against Carlos Villanueva. Villanueva came in for Jojo Reyes, who went just 3 1/3 innings tonight. The RBI single and a ground out to short for David DeJesus so far in the game. And that got home plate umpire Gary Cedarstrom. Is it a foul ball? I believe it was.
No, it's a check swing, and
it was a foul ball.
It was Jose Molina asking for the appeal to Adrian Johnson, but a check swing. Jose just missed it, and it hit the home plate umpire. And he's got shin guards, chest protector, but it missed all of it. And got him.
The count is 3-1 to David DeJesus.
Miss a ball. You miss a ball like that to as a catcher, you apologize.
Hey, Gary Cedarstrom he's got that look like, I'm not happy. Don't you dare bug me. DeJesus just seeing if he's all right.
Time now for the Home Depot doing more on defense. And Kevin Kuzmanov, a little bit of struggle at the Coliseum in the opening 3 games, but how about this dive and a stop with the ball and throwing out Juan Rivera to save a run. A run would have scored on that base hit, but Kuz came up with a great play, diving to his left, robbing Juan Rivera of a base hit, and that's our Home Depot doing more on defense.
Kurt Suzuki steps in. The Mariners and the Rangers just getting underway in Texas. Second game of that 3-game series. No score in the
10-0 after 2. Rangers. Well, the way they're scoring runs already in the first 3 games. Got Ian Kinsler starting the first 2 games of the season with a leadoff home run.
Nelson Cruz has homered in each of the first 4 games. Rangers have hit 13 home runs in the first 4 games, and they are 4-0. Rangers and the Orioles, the 2 4-0 teams. That matchup today, Alexi Ogando pitching for Texas, and Michael Pineda is making his major league debut for the Seattle Mariners. Pineda, kind of the talk of the Cactus League this year. He's supposed to be a star in the making for the Mariners in their rotation. Jays will try to turn 2, and they will. 6-4-3. Suzuki's retired. So Kuzmanov will hit with 2 outs. But I saw Michael Pineda in the clubhouse over the weekend with the Seattle Mariners in town. He's huge. 6'7", about 245 pounds. I did not see him pitch in spring training, but
he's good.
So
he's good.
Interesting youngster. I think he's 21 years old. So that's his major league debut tonight, and he's doing it against the Rangers, who are really swinging hot bats right now to start the season. Oh, 2 to Kuzmanov. I mentioned the Orioles. The Orioles being the other 4-0 team. They're doing it with pitching. Right. When was the last time we said that about the Orioles? Orioles have allowed 4 runs in their first 4 games.
1970. They had 4 starters that won 20 games each.
Young pitchers they're doing it with too. One, 2 to Kuzmanov outside, 2-2.
Jeremy Guthrie, their innings eater, is part of that rotation. Still a young pitcher, but a vet in a sense.
Yep, he's the vet.
He's been around.
Swing and a miss. Kuzmanov strikes out. So the A's do not score in the 5th. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Encarnacion, Snyder, and Nix will hit for the Jays. Brandon McCarthy back to work. It'll be Edwin Encarnacion, who hit into a 5-4-3 double play to end the 2nd inning. So Brandon McCarthy, who did not pitch in the big leagues last year, was in the minor leagues most of the year and was on the disabled list 3 times last year. Broken bat to left. Jackson goes back, and he's got it, and that is out number 1.
Fans come out on April the 16th for a new A's home camp presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Perfect for sunny day games at the Coliseum. This camp looks great on any A's fan, so don't forget, Saturday, April 16th, 6:05 versus the Detroit Tigers. 10,000 fans will receive an A's home camp. For tickets, call 877-493-BALL or go to oaklandathletics.com/tickets. Always nice to have a new A's cap to start a season.
Yeah.
Because you can wear it anytime, all the time, and it's always special around the Bay Area. Throughout our travels to see fans in A's caps, A's whatever, jerseys, caps, jackets, light green and gold. It's a good lid. It's good.
Snyder out in front, drives it foul. So that injury bug, Ray, that Brandon McCarthy has just not been able to shake. And the A's hope that maybe he finally has. But he's been on the disabled list each of the last 4 seasons.
The A's, but how about Brandon himself?
Yeah, exactly.
He hopes he can shake it and be finished with it. Good fastball, tied him up after a good changeup. And he pulled foul, came right back with good heater up in the zone. And that's the result, to not get around on it. But so far, working very well with Kurt Suzuki.
Well, looking at McCarthy's major league numbers, started with the White Sox and then went to the Rangers in the trade.
You see why the Rangers wanted him based on the way he pitched in Chicago. And of course the way he's pitching tonight, since he seems to be healthy. And now couldn't be better for the A's, especially with their young rotation with Dallas Braden at 27. So now you got Brandon McCarthy, you got 2 righties, 3 lefties. Based on the performance tonight of Brandon McCarthy, pretty solid 5-man rotation.
In 09, McCarthy was 7-4 with 17 starts, but his ERA was 4.62. So he has never really put it all together, but there is still time for him to do that. He's only 27 years old. Dallas Braden will start tomorrow. We'll have that game for you here on Comcast Sportsnet California.
Not surprisingly, it's Gio Gonzalez next to him. Dallas needs that beanie outside, not inside.
Reached for, poked into left center field. A 2-out hit for Jason Nix. So we said Brandon McCarthy, 27 years old. Dallas Braden, also 27. So they're the old guys.
Yeah.
Cahill and Anderson just 23. Gio 25.
I thought it was good from the A standpoint because with the off day yesterday, it did enable them to make the change in the rotation. I mentioned briefly in our open, Dallas Braden was slated to pitch tonight, but that would have been 3 lefties in succession, and then McCarthy followed by Trevor Cahill. So it gives the A's an opportunity. McCarthy right-hander tonight, Dallas Braden tomorrow a lefty, and then back to Trevor Cahill. So you do have some separation in the lefties and righties. Ron Romanek in his first season as a A's pitching coach has done a fantastic job in working the pitchers, giving them extra time during spring training, then arranging the rotation the regular season, but constantly working in between starts in the bullpen, working on various parts of the game.
0-1 Molina, and now 0-2. Jose Molina grounded to short in the 3rd inning.
Exaggerated open stance for Jose. That's something new for him.
Good breaking ball.
My.
Call the ball.
Wow,
man. What do you think, folks?
How could you not swing at it? That angle just a little bit in left center. Almost straight on, but still looked like a tough pitch not to swing it.
Runner goes, and the breaking ball. This time Molina does swing at it, and he misses. Side retired. First strikeout for McCarthy. 5-1 A's. Here's our Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray question. You can log on to csncalifornia.com to post your question. Kyle from Sonoma asks, what's the timetable on Andrew Baylor's return to the bullpen, and did he make the road trip? Well, we can answer one of those questions. Probably can't answer the other one. Yes, he did make the road trip. When is he going to be back? We're not sure.
No.
Can't really give you a timetable.
11,077, 110.
And there's no hurry either, because First of all, the A's have to be very thankful, and Andrew Bailey thankful that in his second appearance of the spring, when he held his right arm, and then flew to Alabama to see Dr. Andrews, that it was just a forearm strain. It could have been a lot more serious, maybe even season-ending. So anything that the A's get out of him this year based on what happened is a bonus. So they'll take it easy with him. Throwing, he is shooting for maybe May, but really no timetable on when he is going to return. They did have elbow surgery yesterday, Tommy John surgery 5 years ago. It's kind of last year, last offseason, the kind of the cleanup of his right elbow. But 5 years ago, had the Tommy John, and in a scary moment in spring training.
He is starting to throw, not off the mound, or long toss, which he did earlier today. So that's a good sign, but it's still a ways from coming into the ninth inning and closing a game.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's not quite letting it out.
Well, that's the biggest thing for him, to be able to throw pain-free. And once that happens, then he can resume what he needs to do to get on the mound to get ready to get back on the roster.
Roach with the strikeout. But this was the scary moment.
Grabbed his right arm, right elbow. That was in Goodyear against the Indians. Well, what a scary moment. And next day is on the plane and came back with, I guess you could say, good news that it was a strain.
Well, have you ever had scar tissue?
I have it right now in my right hamstring.
So it hasn't broke yet, like Andrew Bailey?
Never. No, it just grabs a nerve about twice a day.
So you need to break some of that scar tissue, Ray. You do a couple sprints tomorrow, and you're going to be all right.
Jose Molina, second time tonight. Now, Walt Horn, he's assistant trainer. I asked him about it. He said, take a baseball, just put it underneath your right hamstring, and just try to crush up all the scar tissue. I said, is that all I can do? He said, yes, and you probably should do it a little bit every day. So that's what I've been doing the first 4 innings, sitting on a baseball.
How's it feel? Is there any breaking of scar tissue?
Feels better.
So this is not a hamstring you pulled like in spring training either. This was
1978.
I'll tell you what, this is a slow healing hamstring you got.
No, the hamstring healed. It's just that, as Walt said, you know, that was an important year. And I said, yeah. No, he says, my first year in pro ball. So that's what I tore the hamstring. But they didn't quite treat injuries the same then as they do now.
Down the right field line, Aaron Hill gets toward the line, and he makes the catch.
So if you call my room and I say, just a minute, let me get the baseball out from under my right hamstring, you'll know what I'm doing.
You know what? I looked at you like 2 innings ago, and you were sitting crooked, and I almost said in between innings, Ray, what are you doing? You're half off the chair. So you got a baseball under your hamstring. All right.
It's like a multitask.
I hope you feel better.
Actually, it is starting to feel better, believe it or not. There they are.
The good guys.
Nick and Walt. The A's have 3 trainers this year. Well, you pronounce Nick's last name,
no,
okay?
I can't. I don't want to screw up the new guy's name. And I'm not even
Nick
joking.
P. He's with Tampa Bay.
Paparista.
Yep.
How about that? The new head athletic trainer for the Athletics.
I call him paparazzi, so it's fine.
Paparista.
Well, 2 trainers, Walt Horn and Nick, and of course Bob Alale, the A's strength and conditioning coach, trying to keep these guys healthy on the field and look for a lot of success if indeed that does happen. Something that the A's have not experienced the last couple of years with a number of injuries.
Two and 2 to Derek Barton, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Villanueva kicks and the pitch, swing and a miss. So a couple of strikeouts for Villanueva in the top of the 6th inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Still 5-1 Athletics. 6th inning. It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light. It's the world's most refreshing beer. Bottom of the 6th, top of the order for the Jays. Rajai Davis leads it off. First pitch to Davis, a breaking ball outside.
Look, Pennington has moved to shortstop for the A's, replacing Ene LaRoche.
Davis bounces one down the third base line, and that's going to be extra bases. Bounces off that side wall, and Rajai Davis with a leadoff double. First hit for Davis, 4th hit for the Jays. Second hit of the season for Rajai Davis.
Well, that's been a popular area tonight for both clubs. Rajai hitting a double down the line. Seems like his ankle is okay as he glides into second.
Quick meeting on the mound, and Kurt Suzuki trots back behind home plate. Yunel Escobar is the hitter. There's Pennington. So the A's get 5 innings out of Andy LaRoche, his shortstop. Escobar takes low. Rangers have taken a 1-0 lead over the Mariners in the 3rd inning. Mitch Moreland with an RBI triple off Michael Pineda. Davis was heading to third, scrambles back, and he's able to get back. He was going.
Well, if McCarthy had thrown immediately, would have gotten him as he turned around, and Rajai slipped a little bit. Throw the first base side and just a little bit late. You had a tall frame like McCarthy has, it's a little bit harder to turn and get everything working.
Slowly hit. Kuzmanov charges, kicks off his glove, rolls into shallow left center field, but Ellis does a nice job grabbing it before it gets too far away. Davis to third. Escobar's aboard, and it's going to be an error.
Is that off Kuz's glove or Pennington?
Well, they gave him an E6, but it was off Kuzmanov's glove, so I think they'll change that.
Well, Rajai was going to hold up, but once he saw Kuzmanov come in front of Pennington. Yeah, it's E5. It's off Kuz, and he might have been a little bit distracted by Davis going to third, cutting in front of him.
So action for the Jays here in the 6th. First and third, nobody out, with the power hitters coming up. Here's Adam Lind. So a double and an error. Escobar takes off. Lind very high near the seats. Kuzmanov is going to make the catch, gets up, throws, but he throws it away as Davis scores. I don't know if throwing it away is the right word. He just kind of held on to it too long and threw it into the ground. But when it's all said and done, Davis scores. It'll be a sacrifice fly, and Escobar goes to second.
Well, Escobar was running because Rajai Davis took off, and that's just the running ability of Rajai Davis. Falls in foul territory. Escobar was trying to steal, but once the ball's in foul territory, Rajai Davis saw Kuz go over, start to fall back, and immediately took off. And then I think what Kuz was going to do is thinking about throwing home. No chance there. Tried to hold up and thought about Escobar going to second and threw the ball down into the turf, which is not a bad idea because Escobar was going to make it to second anyway. That might be the easiest RBI Lind is ever going to get.
So his 4th RBI of the year. Escobar now at second. Here's Aaron Hill. So 5-2.
Well, I'm not surprised the running game of the Blue Jays, but especially the time that Brandon McCarthy is taking in his delivery out of the stretch. He has the leg kick. Sometimes doesn't even look at second when he gets the sign and looks in which time he is. And you better pay attention to Escobar because he and Rajai Davis are going to be running crazy.
1-0 to Aaron Hill. Hill knocked in a run with a fielder's choice last at bat, and now 2-0. Well, just 62 pitches for McCarthy. But he has run into some trouble here in the 6th. He breezed through the first 3 innings. Line drive left center field. That's a base hit. Jackson has it. They're going to wave Escobar home. Throw in, cut off, and it's 5-3. So the Jays have worked their way back into this game.
And they're doing it without the home run ball. Fastball, belt high, 2-0, and Aaron Hill. I guess you could be happy that the ball just was a base hit, because that's a ball that a lot of times is hit much farther.
So a couple of hits, an error, sacrifice fly, 2 runs in. Here's Juan Rivera. And that one's thrown down the right field line. Hill hits second, and he will stop there as Barton was able to get it. The ball kind of died right there, and that may have helped the A's a little bit.
I kind of wish he'd try it, because Derek Barton loves to throw, and of course if it had skipped down farther he would have gone to third. Hill would have, but just to throw into the runner, and you're right, the padding stopped it. Just a bad throw, and Lamolo tells him to go to second. Hill, looking back, and saw that the padding had stopped the ball. So after a few errors over the weekend, it continues tonight.
9 errors now on the season for the A's, and this is game number 4.
Takes a double play away for the Athletics, as Juan Rivera capable of doing exactly that, but not now with the runner at second.
Curveball. I think McCarthy got underneath that one and just kind of spun up there and stayed high. So in the first 3 innings, McCarthy threw just 21 pitches. That's a fair ball behind the bag at third. Kuzminov throws low. Barton can't dig it out. It's going to be another error. Hill stays at second base, and it's an E5. 3 errors in this inning.
And boy, you got a break, because Rivera swung at a bad pitch, but then the ball in the dirt. Scorekeeper keeps trying to give Pennington an error in this inning. That's twice he said E6, and
it's not that hard, is it?
Well, not if you know the positioning.
Are we watching the same game that everybody else is?
You know, maybe he's going first, second, and then just.
Well, if he's doing that, he shouldn't be being the official score.
I agree. So the error occurred to set up a double play.
Error on who?
5.
So 3 errors in this inning. And here's Edwin Encarnacion. 2 on, 1 out. Breaking ball just a bit outside. Encarnacion 0 for 2. Hit into a double play. And then hit a fly ball to left field. Shot to left field. That's headed for the wall. Hill scores. Rivera to third. He'll stop there, and it is 5-4. RBI double for Encarnacion. Well, errors have been the story in this inning, but there's been some hard hit balls off McCarthy.
Well, they're starting to elevate some of his pitches like this one. And when you have a powerful lineup, guys that swing hard, you make a mistake up in the zone, those things are going to happen. So the A's did not score the first two, scored 5 the next two, and 0s the next two. So the offense, which has been shut down a little bit, but now the Blue Jays have made it a 1-run game and threatening to take the lead.
Snyder swings and rolls at foul. Ziegler just now starting to throw in the A's bullpen as he's stretching it out. Snyder 0 for 2. He has fouled out to Kuzminov in foul territory twice.
Ziegler wounded in the Oakland bullpen.
On deck is the right-handed hitting Jason Nix. Bounce toward Ellis. Ellis, couple steps to his right, throws in time, run scores, and the Blue Jays have come all the way back to tie it at 5. Snyder with the RBI ground out.
Should have been in the dugout 2 batters ago.
That ball took a tricky hop right at the end, and Ellis had to reach up to grab it. So a 4 spot for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 6th. And here's Nix. Encarnacion now at 3rd. Breaking ball in for a strike. Fly ball center field, playable for Coco Crisp. He's back. He's got it. Side retired. 4 runs for the Blue Jays. They do it on 3 hits and 3 athletics errors. 5-5 game after 6. Well, A's fans are introducing @CSN Athletics in-game hashtags. Follow us on Twitter @CSN Athletics. Today's question: what do you think the A's record will be at the end of this final road trip? Take the top tweets and use them during A's post-game live immediately following the game. Guess the A's road trip record. Play along with @CSN Athletics in-game hashtags. Athletics away. New pitcher for the Blue Jays. It is left-hander David Percy. David Percy, 6'4", 240-pounder. He's 28 years old. Pitched out of the bullpen last year. He's been up and down, in and out of the rotations, bullpen. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. He made 12 starts in 08 for the Blue Jays. 9 starts in 09. Last year, 33 games out of the bullpen.
Well, so far, the relief pitcher Villanueva has been the star for the Blue Jays, shutting down the A's.
He's the MVP of the game so far.
Yeah, 2 2/3 innings, 3 strikeouts. The new radio home of the A's, 95.7 The Wolf, today's country and your all-time favorites. Join A's broadcasters Ken Korak, Vince Cotroneo, and yours truly at times for all the action. 95.7 The Wolf. Broadcast start with the A's pregame show with the Chris Townsend as well as the Bob Guerin show. Following the broadcast team's postgame wrap-up, Townsend returns to host his hour-long A's talk. That's the Oakland A's coming to you on 95.7 The Wolf. I'm still in there.
Yes, you are. Josh Willingham, the A's cleanup hitter. Single and a run scored and a sacrifice fly in the ball game. So the A's led 5-0. After 3.5 innings, the Blue Jays with 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 6th to tie it up. So we both agree Carlos Villanueva is the MVP so far in the game. He did exactly what you want your long guy to do.
Yeah.
Just give your team a chance to get back into the game, and that's exactly what he did.
Brandon McCarthy in the 6th inning faced 8 batters, 17 pitches. So it did not take the very long for the A's to watch the Blue Jays swing early. Scored the 4, 3 unearned runs, and that last one just a bit high.
Mark Ellis will be next. High fastball. Willingham checks his swing, lays off. Angels are leading the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1. That game in the 8th inning. Strike 3 call. Fastball in the inside corner.
Got the fastball low 90s and kind of straight. Caught the inside corner and got Josh Willingham looking. Kind of looking outside over the plate, and he pulled back a little bit. Thought it might have been inside, but looked like a pretty good pitch. The Rays have yet to win. Swept by the Orioles. What did they play yesterday?
They're 0-3. Yeah, they had the day off yesterday.
Yes, so they're 0-3. The Orioles swept them.
And all at home, too.
Evan Longoria on the disabled list, their #1 offensive producer.
Outside corner with a fastball, first strike. Indians are leading the Red Sox 3-1. Red Sox looking for their first win. Ellis pops a foul back.
The favorite to win everything this year, the Red Sox, looking for the first win.
One and 2 to Ellis. Percy deals and another foul ball. The A's will have the Minnesota Twins home opener on Friday afternoon. There's one home opener being played today. That is the Padres, who are hosting the Giants. That is San Diego's home opener. Ellis down the left field line, but it is foul. So we'll see. They say we'll see a big crowd, but you're going to see a big crowd at Target Field no matter what. But the Twins home opener and the A's will be there. Good at bat by Ellis as he hangs in there. The Rangers still leading the Mariners 1-0. That game now in the top of the 5th inning. Two now to Mark Ellis, who has an RBI double in the game. He's 1 for 3. Ellis went around, tried to hold up on the fastball, couldn't do a couple of strikeouts for David Percy. 7th inning stretch from the Rogers Center, tied at 5. Thank you, Henry. Bottom of the 7th inning. Brandon McCarthy back out there after a long 6th inning. But as Ray said, not necessarily a lot of pitches, and still his pitch count is just 72.
You face 8 batters that throw just 17 pitches. It tells you a lot about the aggressiveness of the Blue Jays. They continue.
DeJesus coming in on the move toward the line. He makes the catch.
I think a lot of it too, and we talked about Brandon McCarthy's ability to throw strikes consistently, and hitters know that, so they don't wait around. And Blue Jays, their success last year and finishing above 500, the result of their aggressiveness at the plate. Rajay hit 2 ground balls his first 2 at bats, made out, doubled, scored, started the scoring in the 6th inning, that being the last inning. And you knew that ankle would be better by the time the A's came to town.
Yep. They thought he may be able to play on Sunday, but couldn't do it. Had the extra day on Monday. Cues that one, and it's 0-2. You mentioned the A's record the Jays record last year, Ray, 85-77. You know, they've been over 500 4 of the last 5 years. They've had some decent teams, but just not those real good teams to compete in a very difficult division. Davis is retired on the foul ball. But this is not a team that was winning 72, 73, 74 games. They're in the mid-80s. Here's Escobar. He's 1 for 3. Scored a couple of runs. He reached on an error. Good breaking ball. Call the ball.
Gio Gonzalez went 7 strong innings Sunday, and looks like something really bad happens for McCarthy in this inning. He'll go 7 also. And as Gio said, it's great to pitch 7 innings, have 1 reliever come in and close it out. And that was Jerry Blevins pitching 2 solid innings on Sunday. So a well-rested bullpen for the start of this road trip.
Escobar, little flare, foul territory. Barton cannot quite get there. Escobar breaks his bat, so he will get a new one. So 1-2 the count. Good pitch inside corner, strike 3 called. Second strikeout for McCarthy. We are through 7 in Toronto. 5-5 game. We are at the Rogers Center in Toronto. A 5-5 game, 8th inning. A's had a 5-0 lead. Blue Jays have come back to tie it. So a new pitcher for the Blue Jays. It is the right-hander Sean Kemp. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So Sean Kemp, very good year last year for the Blue Jays. 70 appearances. That one hit right up the middle by DeJesus, and he has a base hit, his second hit in the ball game. We'll see if the A's can do something with that. That's their 10th hit and their first hit since the 4th inning.
Well, that's the important note. There's a high sinker, but had movement, but the location being up in the zone helped DeJesus hit it hard up the middle.
So here's Kurt Suzuki. throw, and DeJesus is just back. It was close.
And he wasn't going to second. That was a lean back towards the bag, and fortunately fell quickly enough to get back safely.
Another quick throw. Okay, so Sean Kemp, we now know, has a good move.
Got a fastball that's a 2 and 4 seamer, and he's got a slider that's flat. We've already seen that. And a changeup. So not a lot of surprises from Sean Kemp. They've seen him enough to know what he throws.
Been with the Royals, the Rays, and now his 4th year in Toronto. Camp pitching from the first base side of the rubber. DeJesus, decent lead. And Kurt Suzuki thought that was a bit outside. Gary Cederstrom said it was not. So 0-2 to Suzuki.
Watch this ball come back. The sinker part starts outside, comes back to the outside, and according to Cederstrom, had enough of the plate. You're thinking about running the Molina brothers. Benji, who's out of baseball, but Yanni over the Cardinals, Gold Glover, and Jose Molina, very quick releasing behind the plate.
And Jose Molina, even though a backup catcher, statistically one of the best at throwing guys out.
A lot of it's just a quick and accurate throw.
He threw out 40% of the runners trying to steal last year. That's a very high number. Swing and a miss. Slider, and Suzuki swings and misses. 9 strikeouts for Blue Jays pitchers tonight.
Got under the slider, but the movement, pretty good pitch to hit to right field. Unfortunately, Kurt Suzuki opened up just enough that no contact was made.
6 of the last 8 outs the A's have made have been strikeouts. So 1 out for Kuzminov. Another slider, but Kuzminov does not chase. One for 3 with a double, also a ground out and a strikeout for Kuz. DeJesus got hit by the baseball.
Yeah, that ball would have been down into foul territory had it not hit DeJesus. But on the other hand, Lynn catches the ball. It might have been out because David a little bit bigger lead and a quick throw.
Little off-speed pitch that runs inside. So now Kuzminov, hitters count 2-0. He fouls it at the plate. But DeJesus, a decent speed, but not a big base stealer.
Actually, a few years ago in Kansas City, I know he worked during the offseason, worked on his jumps and his leads, and wanted to go into spring training and be a better base stealer.
11 is the most that he has stolen in one season. Bounce to short. And there's 1, and there's 2. 6-4-3 double play. A's do not score. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Local Toyota dealers. The A's had a 5-0 lead in this game. They scored 3 times in the 3rd inning, and they scored 2 more times in the 4th inning, and that is how they built the lead. And it looked like they were in pretty good shape. But then Blue Jays came back with the help of 3 errors by the A's in the 6th inning. And the Blue Jays would score 4 times in the 6th and tie it up into Encarnacion with a big RBI double. So bottom of the 8th, it is a 5-5 game. That one ripped down the right field line. Foul by Adam Lind. Lind, Hill, and Rivera here in the 8th against Brandon McCarthy. 81 pitches for McCarthy.
That was the 82nd, and just amazing that Brandon, in 4 innings that he's pitched tonight, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 7th, it's been under 10 pitches per inning.
He's given up 5 runs, only 2 of those runs earned. Big swing by Lynn, and it's 0-2. 5-10-3 for the A's, 5-6-0 for the Blue Jays.
He's going to have to improve on that last column in the line score.
I think so. That's a base hit center field. Lynn reached out. He got it off the end of the bat a little bit, but it was an 0-2 pitch, and the go-ahead run is aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th.
Tried to go backdoor slider, and it was off the end of the bat, but Lynn, instead of trying to pull the ball, which power hitter, you might expect him to do it, went right back up the middle.
First pitch to Aaron Hill. That's a shot to Kuzmanov. Throws back to first, not quite in time. Well, Kuzmanov was playing in about even with the bag, and that was a smash.
And it's a little surprising if you think about the 4th place hitter, even though it's not Bautista in the middle lineup. But fortunately, playing even with the bag, the ball was right to Kuzmanov. But you wouldn't expect the 4th place hitter to be sacrificed.
No.
But again, with Bautista out of the middle of the lineup, maybe John Farrell would consider it, but it's something that you just don't expect. And Kuz again with Rivera, I think semi-guarding the line, but even with the bag against a hitter, definitely is not going to be bunting.
Rivera swings at the first pitch, very high. Ellis out, he's fighting it, and he makes the catch. Margallis may have been waiting for David DeJesus to come in.
Anybody. Coco, DeJesus. Look how far he had to go out, but of course the outfielders are playing very deep. And when you start moving around, this roof is not as bad as the old Metrodome was for baseball as far as being able to pick up the ball, but still it's a little difficult moving that much and then looking up trying to locate the ball.
And Blevins plenty loose for the A's in their bullpen. He's been throwing for a little bit. And here's Encarnacion. Swings at the first pitch, high and foul down the right field line.
You look at this inning, 4 pitches to Lynn, all strikes. First pitch hitting by Hill, first pitch hitting by Rivera, strikes, and a first pitch strike to Encarnacion. This is an aggressive club. They don't wait around and walk. You walk them, you're doing something. Rivera walked on 4 pitches in the 2nd inning.
Swings at this one, pops it up. Ellis out. He is still in fair territory, says Lance Barksdale. And Ellis makes the play, and we're headed to the 9th.
5-0, but the Blue Jays have made it a 5-5 game as they head to the top of the 9th inning. Brandon McCarthy getting some handshakes. Why not? Time for the Ford right choice, and it is right tonight with Brandon McCarthy. Just 89 pitches. 5 innings, under 10 pitches per inning. Very aggressive swinging by the Toronto Blue Jays. So our Ford right choice is the right-hander, Brandon McCarthy. He has gone 8 innings. And meanwhile, the Blue Jays going to another reliever. The big closer.
John Roush, when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. 6'10", 255 pounds, John Roush. That's right, folks. Signed as a free agent after pitching for the Minnesota Twins in a 1-year deal. Frank Francisco is also with the Toronto Blue Jays, came over in a trade. He's on the disabled list right now, but he will more than likely be their closer when he is healthy. Pennington drives one to center. Davis back. And Davis turns around and he makes the catch. They also signed Octavio Dotel. He is also on the disabled list. So they have a couple key bullpen guys that will be coming back from the disabled list at some point in the next maybe 2-3 weeks or so.
Well, with Joe Nathan spending last season on the disabled list, John Roush did a great job. Camps was signed or traded for by the Minnesota Twins, but Roush filling in the closer role while Joe Nathan was rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. Did an excellent job, and he, along with Guerrero and
Jesse Crane.
I think they lost
Fuentes. They lost Fuentes too.
Yeah.
So they lost 4 good relievers. Did the Twins?
Nathan is back, but Twins lost last night after losing 2 of 3 here. They're still in New York.
Roush saved 21 games last year. Had a 3.12 ERA, 59 appearances. So he had a good year in Minnesota. A couple years with the Diamondbacks, 5 years with the Washington Nationals. That one's ripped down the right field line. It is a fair ball. Big bounce to Rivera, and Coco Crisp will have a 1-out double. First hit for Crisp in the game, and it's a big one.
That 2-0 fastball. Roush just challenging, and Coco Crisp always up to a challenge, especially with a good fastball. Let's get some elevation, get it out of here. I'm going to mess around with a double, but Coco, that's a nice form there. All non-runners like to look at that and say, I wish I could, but no, I can't.
So that is the go-ahead run, and we're in the 9th. So Derek Barton will hit. Escobar, the shortstop, playing right behind Coco Crisp. Outfielders playing straight away. And Barton takes a fastball for a strike. 0 for 3 with a walk and a couple of strikeouts tonight for Derek Barton. Crisp dancing around at second base.
Well, as far as the third baseman, Nix is playing off the line. Very tempting for a base run with good speed that Coco has. Make it a running game to third base. Nix would have to take it on the run if he decided to try to steal. That is Coco. But Derek Barton, a very tough night. A couple of strikeouts, which you don't see from him a lot, and does have a walk. And a fly ball to left field. That was a 9-pitch bat against the starter JoJo Reyes. So time for a base hit from Derek Barton. Get his first ribby. Nope.
Shallow left center field. It's going to be Rajai Davis. Makes the catch. 0 for 4 with a walk for Derek Barton. So here's Connor Jackson. Eight innings, 5 runs, but just 2 earned. 89 pitches for Brandon McCarthy. So a very good performance. If the A's can get Coco Crisp in, a chance for a W for Brandon McCarthy.
Well, regardless, I'd like to see the W for the team and McCarthy, but did an outstanding job. It's what the A's going to get out of their 5th starter. Or actually 4th, considering Braden tomorrow, but essentially the 5th because he had to earn the spot out of spring training.
Connor Jackson has had a good night. A single, a double, a walk, and a ground out. He scored a run and knocked in a run. His first start this year. Good swing there, and he fouled it back. a big hand. A little over 11,000 tonight in that group. And that's why they cheered him. It's a nice play. And he just walked down and gave it to a youngster. And now he's getting another big hand.
And the person in front of him who was ducking also shook his hand.
Yeah. He's a popular guy right now.
Bought 4 seats, and he and his buddy are spreading out, taking 2 of the 4 with a seat in between.
Veteran move.
But I don't think he had to buy 4 to do that tonight.
11,000 in the house. Drive, right center field. Rajai Davis on the run, and he makes the catch. The ball was hit a ton, but it just hung up, and Davis tracked it down.
Brought to you by Xfinity, TV, phone, and internet. Reinvented. And by Chevrolet. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to support youth baseball and help make a moment kids will never forget.
Well, it's all tied, 5-5, bottom of the 9th inning, and our good friend Rajai Davis had to show off again. Connor Jackson hit the ball well off John Roush, right center, looked like it might carry, but there goes Rajai, and Rajai able to run it down in right center at the warning track, and robbed Connor Jackson of an RBI, and the A's the lead. So bottom of the 9th, here we go. Jerry Blevins pitched on Sunday, pitched 2 great innings, walked the batter, struck out 3.
So Blevins for McCarthy. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. He faces Snyder, Nix, and Molina. Travis Snyder is 0 for 3 with an RBI ground out. He has good power.
We're talking about Travis Snyder being a left-handed hitter, platooning a little bit. They said he will face quite a few lefties. There's the opportunity, and it gets a good curveball from Jerry Blevins. But Rajai Davis, we know he has speed. He has shown it tonight on the base pass, but he shows it here at right center going after a ball. And the Blue Jays, a lot of the fans who remember a guy called Devon White, who covered a lot of ground in center field here for the Blue Jays, and said that Rajai Davis maybe could do the same thing with his speed. But Devon White was kind of like loped at it. I mean, just all of a sudden he's there. Ran down a lot of fly balls in the gaps and upset a lot of hitters. Think he got a double, triple, out.
Jason Nix. 1 for 3. Popped up. Foul territory for Barton. And he's got it. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Jose Molina strides to the plate. Angels won their game 5-3 over the Rays. The Angels now 2-3 to start this season, and Tampa Bay 0-4. Swing and a miss as Blevins took some off.
Jose Molina's at the plate right now to do one thing, and that's not to walk or hit a base hit. He's trying to go for the downs, and outfield playing very deep. But Jerry Blevins, Kurt Suzuki called a change up at 79, had him way out in front, swinging and missing.
Another big swing and a miss, this time on a fastball. 0-2. Molina is 0 for 3.
Get a new baseball. Look how dirty that is.
Yeah.
Look at the big scuff on it. That's pretty good.
Brown.
So keep it.
I want a nice white, slippery, shiny ball.
So does the hitter. Saw Mikey Thalbaum at the Coliseum rubbing up baseballs. He said, Mikey, what are you doing? He says, you know the umpires never do this.
They are not going to do it.
No.
2-2 now to Molina with Rajai Davis in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Good inning for Jerry Blevins. A couple of strikeouts. We got extra innings for the first time this year. 5-5 game.
Every Wednesday this season, you can get a Plaza Outfit or Plaza Reserve ticket for just $2. Take advantage of this special offer during some of the biggest matchups of the year with the Red Sox, Rangers, Yankees, and more. Get tickets for all Bart $2 Wednesdays at the Coliseum box office, by phone at 877-493-BALL. And to order online, you can go to OaklandAthletics.com.
Extra innings from the Rogers Center. So Josh Willingham to lead it off.
You know
John Farrell has gone to the bullpen again.
And you know what happens when you start? It just goes 3 1/3 innings, don't you?
You have to use 5 relievers.
That's right. At least 5. That's what he's done.
Jason Frazier.
Percy, Camp, Roush, each 1 inning apiece. Villanueva, the star tonight so far, going 2 2/3, giving up nothing.
Well, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Jason Frazier, 33-year-old. He's been around a long time, all in the Blue Jays bullpen. Maybe we'll see Hideki Matsui in a position to win the game somewhere in this ball game. 1-1 to Willingham. He'll be followed by Ellis and then to Jesus.
Problem the A's have tonight, they've used LaRoche. They've used Pennington now, taking over for LaRoche, which means that it's Matsui, Ryan Sweeney, Landon Powell.
Yeah.
So there's really not a lot of opportunities for Hideki Matsui to be used.
Yeah, who's he going to hit for?
Exactly,
right?
and plus he'd have to hit for Willingham, who's the DH.
Yeah,
you would lose him defensively. But it may be just one of those games that Hideki takes the night off.
Fastball up and into Willingham. The Jays bullpen so far in this game, 5 2/3 innings. No runs, 2 hits, and 6 strikeouts.
Whoa.
Shot to left.
Whoa.
And the A's have the lead. Willingham to the second deck, 6-5.
Wow. How about a hanging slider?
So Willingham gives the A's the lead with a long one.
I hope we have the sound of this at actual live.
It sounded good.
Because all you have to do at home, you're watching this, wherever you are, just close your eyes and listen to the sound, because you know the sound of a home run.
I do now.
Wow. If you're an A's fan, that's a perfect sound.
So second home run for Willingham. Couple of RBIs tonight. And Mark Ellis hits. That was the second home run for Willingham, and that's the second home run for the A's as well. He's got them both.
Big one off of Felix Hernandez opening night. His first at bat as a member of the Athletics, and tonight the biggest of the two. If the A's can have it hold up. Here's the pitch, a hanging slider. Josh Willingham just reacted on it. That's in slow motion. Listen. Oh, does that sound great? Look at that. He knows it. That's the look of the guy who said, I know I just crushed it. I'll peek and just see how far it's going to go. I know it's out of here, and it's the second deck.
So Willingham DHing tonight.
Alabama boy knows how to hit. He did a little hitting in Alabama. Nice young man. I'll tell you what, the A's, in trading for some guys and signing, they kept one thing intact, and that is good people. Class people. They know how to play the game, but also very, very good people. David DeJesus, Brian Fuentes, Brant Balfour, Josh Willingham, 4 new guys, and they have fit right in with this club perfectly. Don't want to forget Andrew Roach either.
Nope.
You know, he's new guy, new player, made the club out of spring training.
Good at bat here for Mark Ellis.
Looks like it's going to be Balfour trying to close it out. We know with Andrew Bailey, who we got the question earlier about, and he is not able to close, so it's kind of a mix and match between Brian Fuentes, Grant Balfour, and you can also look at Michael Wirtz, ability to close, Greg Breslow. So Bob Guerin has some choices. It becomes a matchup for the Athletics, and it will be the top of the order for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 10th, at least with the A's leading by 1 run.
So Ellis puts up a good battle, but ends up striking out. That's the breaking ball Frazier wanted to throw to Willingham, and it was nowhere close to being in that location. Couple of hits for David DeJesus. 2 for 3. He's now 3 for 15 on the season. Picked up his second RBI of the year in the 3rd inning. So the A's finally get a run off the Jays bullpen, and it's the home run by Willingham. Off speed pitch for a strike. Kurt Suzuki will be next. So the pitching matchup tomorrow will be Dallas Braden and Jesse Lidge. See that game right here on Comcast Sportsnet California. Same time. Four o'clock from right here at the Rogers Center. Fastball right there, strike 3 call. So Dallas Braden, 11-win season last year, very good ERA, 3.50. Jesse Lidge, who's working his way back after Tommy John surgery. So I would imagine he's just looking forward to tomorrow. He's with 12 hits in the game, and that hits Suzuki in the left arm.
Hit by pitch. Hit by pitch.
Now the slider that didn't break. I guess this ball just stayed inside. Kurt turned away, but that was after he was hit. Wearing a pad. Yeah, a little bit of a pad on his elbow. Maybe a bigger one tomorrow. You see Kurt Suzuki, that's smart right there, because Lance Barksdale is going to be behind the plate tomorrow night. Said hello to him, wished him well. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Catchers know how to be a PR also.
Smart people. Kuzminov 1 for 4. Yeah, that slider that just misses off the plate. Close pitch. Rangers have upped their lead. It's now 3-0 over Seattle. 6th inning. Texas got a couple of runs in the bottom of the 6th. They have not hit a home run in that game, though. Short lead at first for Suzuki. Got a quick throw anyway. Padres beat the Giants 3-1. Padres home opener. Well, the Giants struggling in the early going. They're 1-4 now after 3-1 loss. They will have their home opener on Friday back in the Bay Area.
Think of the world champions that have the schedule starting at home, wouldn't it? Guess not. They're starting 2 tough Western Division rivals.
1-2 to Kuzminov. And now 2-2. .24 pitches for Frazier in this inning. And that one missed somewhere, and it's a full count. Let's see if it was a strike. What do you think, folks?
It was outside.
A little bit out, but close. I wouldn't take it again.
Yeah.
So Suzuki will take off. 2 outs, 3-2 count. Kurt runs, and the ball's flipped down the right field line, and that will drop in front of Rivera. Suzuki will go to third, and Kuzminov has a blue pit. He'll take it, his second hit in the game.
Well, Kuz hitting the ball softly to right field, but Lind at first was holding Suzuki. 3-2. Right-handed batter, if been a left-hander, might have played off the bag. Not that Kurt would have been able to score on the blue, but usually if a runner is held at first with 3-2 count of 2 out, they want to make sure that he does not get a running lead. Kuz protecting, took a close 2-2 fastball. They got a 3-2 slider down and away from it.
So Cliff Pennington will get a chance to hit his second at bat. Amy LaRose started the game at short. Pennington in there. Hit a fly ball to center field leading off the 9th inning. And Pennington got a fastball right down the middle, fouled it back.
Well, Cliff hit a ball straight away center. This is a big yard in center field. Takes a long shot to get it out. That's why something on the ground or line drive. You see the dimensions straight away center to the right of center field, 400. Fewer meters, but 400 feet.
Outside corner 0-2. The Indians just beat the Red Sox 3-1 the final. That game in Cleveland. So the Red Sox now 0-4.
They haven't even opened at home yet.
No. Indians 2-2. Red Sox got just 4 hits to go along with their 1 run. 0-2 to Pennington. And the pitch. Fastball up and away. Boy, with the Blue Jays' ability to hit home runs, an extra run here would be huge.
Mike A was talking to Kurt Suzuki. I don't know if something's going to be on, if Kuzminoff is going to take off, maybe try to steal a run. No.
Close pitch. Molina thought it was a strike.
Splitter just out of the zone. Watch it drop down right there. Cliff stayed off the pitch, but out of the strike zone, as it just could not stay in the area.
And now full count. Well, that'll help the A's get Kuzminoff running at first. Suzuki is the runner at third.
See, this time Lynn's going to play behind the runner Kuzminoff with a left-handed hitter, just in case Pennington pulls a pitch.
So it helps the runner, probably hurts the hitter a little bit. Pennington goes around, side retired, but the big hit, Josh Willingham, leads off the 10th inning with a long home run to left field. So as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning, the A's with a 6-5 lead. Against the Blue Jays. Watch it at home or join us for our authentic viewing party. It's at Bowlemore Lanes in Cupertino. The Giants, A's, Warriors, and Sharks are all on Comcast Sportsnet tomorrow. There will be giveaways, prizes, and happy hour specials. Enjoy the game with other authentic A's fans. Night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of the A's is Comcast Sportsnet California. So a big day on Comcast tomorrow.
So it's a big night for the A's tonight. And Trent Balfour can get 3 outs and starts with a tough hitter, Rajai Davis. They had a player here that spent a lot of years in Milwaukee that came over to win a world championship. That's Paul Molitor. They called him the Igniter. I think that's what Rajai Davis is for the Blue Jays. It forces Barton at first, Kuzminoff at third, play even with the bag. Expecting a bunt, expecting something.
And Rajai swings at the first pitch. Suzuki back, but he's going to run out of room. So Rajai helps Balfour.
That would have been a thing of beauty to get an out on that pitch, too.
But when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Balfour going for the save. A hard thrower. Rajai Davis fouls it back.
Well, everybody in the park, and especially the A's, know that if Rajai gets on, he's a threat to steal. A threat to do a lot of things on the bases. So no doubt a big out would be getting Rajai Davis.
Now, Balfour was never the closer with the Rays. He did have 4 saves in 08 and 4 saves in 09. He did not have a save last year, even though he appeared in 57 games. But they had a pretty good closer last year, Mr. Soriano. So 1-2 the count. Davis, Escobar, Lind. 2 right-handed hitters, and then Lind is the left-handed hitter. If anyone were to get aboard, Aaron Hill, a right-handed hitter, would hit. Bounced over the mound into center field, a base hit. It was a breaking ball that stayed up, and Rajai Davis just put his bat on it. So Rajai's 2 for 5.
Well, good fastballs, and then a hanging curveball from Balfour, and there it is over the top, just did not break. And Rajai, A's were hoping he'd try to pull it, but instead, good hitting right back up the middle. And now here we go. Typically, relievers don't have great moves in holding runners at first and quick moves to the plate. But this is a case where you need one. Maybe some throw over, some step offs, to maybe even a pitch out. That is what Bob Guerin is calling right now with Brandon McCarthy. Hardly a throw over to first base. That's why the Blue Jays are running pretty much at will.
Escobar, the hitter. First pitch, drive to right. That's hit pretty well. DeJesus is back. He's at the wall. Ball game. The heartbreaker for the A's. First road game of the year, Ray. We sat there talking about the speed, and maybe we should have known it would go back to the long ball with the Blue Jays.
Well, and a lot of that, really, you think about a quick pitch by Graham Balfour because of the threat of Rajai Davis. And no doubt, Escobar looking fastball first pitch, and it goes opposite field to get the 2-run home run.
Opposite field home run into the A's bullpen. And that's a game winner. So a very difficult loss for the A's. 7-6 is your final. Yunel Escobar, the 2-run walk-off home run. So the A's took the lead on the Willingham home run. They lose it on the Escobar home run. There's your final in 10 innings from the Rogers Center. It's the Toronto Blue Jays 7 and the Oakland A's 6. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Henry Wolford and Greg Cadaret starts right now.